Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this and taking part. And I'm very pleased to be with you. There was a slight hiccup when I started to access the studio that we use. It didn't connect straight away. And these thoughts go through your mind. Oh, people are going to be sitting around and wondering, well, what's happening? And but thankfully, after pressing a retry, it did sort of come live. And so that seems to indicate to me that I'm prone to anxiety, but also that technology uh, lends itself to that sort of thing. We're all on a precipice about to sort of have things fail us. I had a sat nav. I haven't not had it very long, and just before a longish journey, it just died. And I suppose you can take things philosophically and bear in mind. Well, yeah, things do break down, but it is a challenge to the emotions to just say, okay, this is life. This is the sort of thing that happens. I think there's a lot of practice goes into that sort of acceptance. So anyway, I won't ramble on at length about my sat nav, but it was interesting. The timing was really, like the universe testing me, or I was just about to set out on a longish journey, and well, okay, we managed without the sat nav. Yeah. I have got a bit of a theme to sort of dwell on today. For the last couple of weeks, couple of sessions, I've been focusing on self-care, self-metta, love, loving kindness towards yourself. But even for somebody who thinks they do need to focus on that, it is good to move on and to start to focus on the good friend, the person that we're developing a really good friendship with. And whether that's a long-standing friendship, that goes back years and years, or you're looking to sort of develop your skills in friendship, and there's so much that could be in that section of the meditation. Whether you do 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's a wonderful opportunity to be exploring and bringing in the imagination. Good morning, Sarah. So I'll have a look at that for a moment or two. It's the usual meditation, but what springs to mind is, well, it's not the usual meditation. This is a unique, special opportunity. Isn't that there's a bit of a hackneyed phrase in it, new every day, something like that, but it is literally true. You might notice, morning Vinesh, you might notice that I've got empty shelves behind me. So that's one change from previous weeks. I'm in the process of moving. So letting go is the sort of flavor of the moment. And as well as not getting too anxious about, there's lots to be packed and there's lots need doing and all the rest of it. So self-love, but moving out from that, developing that so that you're able and eager even to sort of engage with others. So we'll start in a moment or two. It's just coming up to 7 o'clock. And as I was saying, a freshness to the practice, that's something you could take into it, no matter when you're listening to this or watching this. Just bear in mind, this is a fresh opportunity. No matter what's going on, no matter how many times we might feel that we've done the meditation, it's new, it's fresh. And I think that's really important with this meditation, that you're open, you're receptive to new ideas, new ways in, new approaches, to keep the meditation fresh. It's a bit like if you have a friend or a partner, and you just go to the same old places again and again. So I think with this meditation, we could think of it in the same sort of terms. You know, we're going out for a meal. We're going out for a special occasion with our good friend. And, well, let's go somewhere a bit special, somewhere a bit different. So I'll start. Yeah, start with a little sip of herbal tea. So the reflection that I wanted to bring in was in the meditation, you know, we're in the second stage, focusing, trying to develop loving kindness towards a good friend. So that's all fair enough. And we've covered things like trying to get a sense of their presence, you know, to experience sort of being with them, at least in imagination. We've talked about rejoicing in their merits, you know, focusing on what you admire about them, or what you're grateful for, you know, their friendship, their what they're offering you. You know, they give you something really special. You know, we do really need friendship, and so a gratitude for what they're providing is another good emotional dimension. But what I wanted to sort of focus on was something that struck me this morning. I just happened to be reading a little bit of Sanghaketu, and what he was talking about was the qualities of the true individual. And it struck me, well, to really be a good friend, you know, to be a good friend to someone, you need to be an individual. You need to be clear. You need to be. Well, I'll just sort of find the couple of things that he emphasised as the basis for being a true individual. The characteristics are, well, he said there's so many characteristics towards being a true individual, but the qualities are, you know, you'd be objective, you'd have clarity and intelligence, and you'd need to be aware that your actions have consequences. So you are responsible for your actions, and you act responsibly. I think this is really interesting in terms of thinking of a good friend and friendship, that you really take responsibility. You don't lapse into feeling let down or anything like that. You actively engage with the friendship through thick and thin, as it were. And I think that's a sign of a bit of individuality, where you're able to be a friend because you're able to be looking after yourself and being a true individual, as it were. So don't want to make too much of that, go over the top, but I think it is an interesting reflection that in the meditation, we don't just wish our friend well. We don't just keep repeating the phrase, or even explore the connection with the focus on them all the time. We can sort of spend some of the time focusing on, well, am I being a good friend to my friend? Is there anything I can do? So perhaps that's just setting up a stream of a few ideas, but I think it is potentially a really good approach, you know, to not just dwell on the friend, not just, oh, I hope they're well and aren't they lovely? No. How can I move this friendship on? Can I initiate things? So that would be, well, a bit more of a challenge, perhaps, but well, that's what we want. So the development of loving kindness in 5 stages, and I will talk us through each stage as we come to it. And obviously I've got to ring the bell to mark the stages. We'll just allow a moment or two just to settle, just to get in touch with our physical experience. I have found this really useful, to just take a minute just to connect with the feet, the buttocks that are on the chair, or, you know, maybe your back's resting against something. Get in touch with the feeling of the hands resting, and also just that bit of a scan around the shoulders and the neck. And if there is tension there, well, you can imagine it being lightly brushed away, or just tell yourself, relax, let the shoulders go down. Nothing to remember, nothing to worry about. We're just being led through a lovely meditation. So the development of loving kindness. So in this first stage, developing loving kindness to ourselves and enthusiastically wishing ourselves well. May I be well and happy. May I be healthy and fit. May my plans come to fruition. May my energy flow. So perhaps you can remember things people have said. They might have rejoiced in you or pointed out you'd done something really well. So it's good to let that in, to be receptive to the things that people have said. It's too easy to just brush it aside and, oh, no, let it in. Perhaps a good friend has confided that they're really fond of you or something like that. So let that dwell in your heart, that you are appreciated. And you might remember a time when things were going really well. So just recall the different factors, where you were, who you were with, what were the conditions that helped you to feel really good, really positive. And dropping in that wish, just drop it in like a pebble in a pool. May I be well. May I be healthy, making progress, be content with my life. And just see if there's a response. We might not be the finished article, but we do have our strengths, our good qualities. So it's good to rejoice in that. And now we're focusing on a good friend, We want them to be well and happy, their life to be making progress. But we can start with wishing to be a good friend ourselves. And then focusing on our friend, perhaps remembering good times we'd shared. If they've been through a difficult time, you might feel some concern, some compassion for them. Or share their joys, their successes. It's the emotional involvement, the real heart wish for them to be good and happy. In your imagination, you can be spending time with them. You might imagine giving them a present and their expression of sheer delight. So may they be well. May they be in good health. May they be finding their way forward with their plans and their dreams. You'd wish for them what you'd wish for yourself. May they feel loved and appreciated. May our friendship develop. You want them to be happy in their terms. So what works for them? Their own forms of enjoyment, their preferences, the things they actually relate to. So setting aside your self-interest, you just wish them to be well. Imagine them being really happy. Now in the third section is the person we don't know, a face we see, Often we call them the neutral person, but they're not neutral to their friends and family. So we can start to imaginatively develop a sense of them as a more full person. We only see them, say, in the convenience store or at the garage, or they're just a face that we see regularly. But we can engage with them in a deeper way. So just reflecting, well, there's more to that person. They're just like me, really. They're breathing. They have people in their lives like I do. So may they be happy. May they be well. May things be going how they would like them in their lives. You can give your imagination free rein. You can imagine opening up a conversation with them, overcoming your shyness, initiating a connection. It might be delightful. They might be somebody that you realise, oh, you could get on with this person. There's always that possibility. Imagine a warmth and a friendliness in their face and their eyes. And we can decide to be at least friendly in potential, or be open to a friendly connection. Even risk a smile. So may they be well and happy, enjoying their friends and their family. And who knows, we might find them moving up from being a neutral person to being a good friend. So we can decide to watch out for these neutral people. Bring it into our awareness that these people are around, and we can at least be friendly towards them. So may he or she be happy and well. Now we come to the person we're having difficulties with. It's not necessarily the case that they're a difficult person. It could well be that they just press our buttons and we find them difficult. But we have the intention, at least, of turning that round. We could decide, well, I'm not enjoying keeping going with these difficult feelings. So I'm going to decide to try and turn it round. At least have the intention of finding appreciation of this person. So yes, there's difficulties. There's been things happening. They may have even done me a great wrong. But somewhere within me, there's enough love and forgiveness to improve this relationship. So may they be well. May they be happy. Our experience of a person might be a very narrow, small part of that person. Other people might experience them very differently. So we can be open to that. We can start to let go. If we do get in touch with really difficult feelings, it's okay to back off. We can return to the first stage and reconnect with developing self-love. We don't have to be a martyr to this. We're just trying to do what we can. As imperfect as we are, we're trying to sort of remedy and improve relationships with others. Because if we leave them, if we just let the feelings fester, they will poison us. So it's in our own interests to attempt to try and improve the feelings towards the people that we're finding difficult. Maybe you see them in their own context, with their family, their friends. That can warm up our feelings towards another person. We can imagine we're big enough, we're able, we're the adult. We can find some forgiveness, or at least try. So we have the intention, the desire at least, for this person to be well. And we drop that in. May they be well and happy, making progress. Now, in this last section, we really quickly just reconnect with the previous four people. That's ourselves, the good friend, the person we don't know yet, the neutral person, and the person we have difficulties with. And then we start to face outwards and take our well-wishing. Well, we can start with our household, where we live. Everybody in our own home, may they be well and happy. If things are going well, we can rejoice in that. We can enjoy that with them. Or if they're struggling in some way, we have the appropriate response to them. We feel a degree of compassion or concern. So those nearest and dearest, as it were, may they be well and happy, making progress in their lives. And now imaginatively, we can start to reach out. Everyone in our locality, in our neighbourhood, perhaps we can see them going about their business. We can imagine the traffic, the people going into the garage, the convenience store. Mothers and fathers getting their children up and ready. We wish them all well. Gradually moving further and further out. So the whole of our town or city, may everyone in York, Blackburn, wherever, Chorley, Nottingham, may all these people who we can start to get a sense of, may they all be well, making progress. May they all feel loved and appreciated. May their plans be coming to fruition, their energy released. In our imaginations, we can go and visit friends, different parts of the country, so that we get a sense of the whole of the country and the fact that we're wishing everyone well. We don't place limits, there's no boundaries. And in different ways, we can imagine the different countries as we start to move around the world. You might have memories of places you visited like France and Spain. So reconnect with those and wish everyone around, may they all be well and happy. Maybe you have friends in France. Moving out further and further. Everyone in Germany. My brother lives in Germany, so I wish him well. I've got a friend in Moscow, so may he be well and happy. So rather than just a vague blanket intention of going around the world, it's possible to just settle on individuals at different places. Maybe you've got family in Australia. And we all know somebody in the United States, so may they be well and happy. We don't put limits on it. The intention is for everyone to be well and thriving. If there are particular trouble spots, we might dwell there and wish everyone well. For example, Afghanistan, but there's so many parts of the world where people are really struggling. People on death row, the men in Guantanamo Bay, people who are just afraid to be going out and traveling back from work and things like that. All around the world, there are people who have struggles, but there are also people who are doing well and making a great contribution. So the whole range of human endeavour, and we're aware of all these different people. And we include the animals, and like a repeating mantra, we can wish everyone well. May this be something we carry through the day. May everyone you meet be well and happy. So slowly emerging from the meditation, not too abruptly, then arriving back into your room, leaving behind the inner world of meditation. So I wish you well as you go about your day, and yeah, well, let's hope that some of the flavour of what we've just been doing, some of the experience of developing loving kindness, and even if it's a difficult stage with more of intention than actual enjoyment, as it were, we still carry something forward. It's an art form, developing loving kindness. It's a bit like sculpting something or painting a masterpiece. We're engaged in something which demands creativity and commitment. So hopefully a few of us will be here next week, and thank you for being here. And I just think this is a great enterprise, to share meditation and to join in. That it's a bit like we have a little meditation club, and each morning during the week, Shakapada and other people, they're engaging with us. So it's a great thing to be part of. So hope to see you next week, and go well. Bye now.